He was born Anthony Edward Sowell on August 19th, 1959, in East Cleveland in a household of 9 children. It was a childhood marked by violence. 2 of the now grown children said Sowell witnessed an adult tie and beat them with a cord, the same weapon the killer used to bind and strangle at least 7 of his victims. It continues at 18, when Sowell left a pregnant girlfriend behind to enlist in the Marine Corps. In 1981, he married a fellow Marine who told her mother she pitied him, fearing that his own Sowell would drink himself to a dishonorable discharge. Trouble with the law starts when Sowell left the Marines in 1985. A 1988 conviction for domestic violence was followed by accusations from 2 women that Sowell choked, raped, and threatened to kill them. The bodies of 3 other women were discovered near his East Cleveland home. It all leads up to the years since his release from an Ohio prison in 2005 after a 15-year stretch for attempted rape. Vulnerable women, mostly drug users, started going missing in the Cleveland neighborhood where Sowell lived as a registered sex offender. At least 3 other women say they escaped his house after he attacked or raped them. Anthony Sowell might have got an idea in his head to try to help women who bartered their bodies with men for crack cocaine. He offered them malt liquor, companionship, and shelter from the dangers of the streets of Cleveland's east side, said 4 women with drug problems who had encounters with Sowell. But if Sowell felt betrayed by those he thought he was trying to help, he would terrorize, attack, or rape them, according to the police reports made by 2 women who said Sowell befriended them and then turned on them. On Tuesday, November 3rd, Election Day. More gruesome news. The search of Anthony Sowell's backyard uncovers 4 more bodies. And in the most repulsive revelation yet, a disembodied skull is found in a bucket in the basement. The death count comes to 11, where it stays. The first corpse is identified the next day, but it will take another month until Friday, December 4th, for all the bodies to have names. Crystal Dozier, Tashana Culver, LaShonda Long, Michelle Mason, Tanya Carmichael, Kim Yvette Smith, Nancy Cobb, Imelda Hunter, Janice Webb, Talisha Fortson, and Diane Turner. They were all black, all women, all drug users, all human beings who paid the ultimate price with their lives. In July 2007, after Sowell didn't show up 2 days in a row, Custom Rubber Products Corp fired him. Company president Charlie Braun said, Sowell means of self-support were reduced to collecting and selling scrap metal. About the same time in May or June in 2007, the woman believed to be the first Imperial Avenue Strangler victim, Crystal Dozier, went missing, police said. That June also marks the first time an Imperial Avenue neighbor called Councilman Zach Reed to complain about an odor of decaying flesh, Reed said. The stink got stronger and more women went missing at an alarming rate. On Imperial, Sowell was a regular neighborly fixture, inviting others over for cookouts, chess games, and malt liquor. His drink of choice were 40s of King Cobra, 40-ounce bottles of Anheuser-Busch's brand value for its relatively high 6% alcohol content, cheap price, and a lack of flavor. And among neighborhood women looking to kick it, smoke crack, and drink, Sowell was known to have a party place beyond the reach of his stepmother/landlady, whose disabilities prevented her from climbing the 2 flights of stairs to the 3rd floor. Columbus psychologist Howard Fracken interviewed Sowell and stated that Sowell had a hard time maintaining eye contact while discussing his abusive past and that he became teary-eyed on a number of occasions. When asked what triggered him to commit the murders, Sowell's response was, "I don't like people who hurt kids, especially women. Women are supposed to be our protectors over everyone else, but that's not the way it is," according to Fracken's account. Fracken's report and another one by forensic psychologist Bob Stinson describe specific incidents of abuse, including Sowell being molested by a female cousin, and another incident when a girlfriend's mother forced herself on him sexually. Sowell also said that at the age of about 6 or 7, he was given a Chatty Cathy doll, and that he did a disturbing thing to the doll a few times until he was around the age of 9 to 11, according to Fracken's report. One of Sowell's earliest memories, according to Stinson's report, was of an older nephew forcing Sowell and other family members to perform acts of sexual nature on each other. But while Sowell told Fracken that he did not recall the nephew doing anything overtly to him sexually, he reportedly told Stinson that the nephew forced Sowell to perform oral sex on him. Sowell also described his adult relationships, including a failed marriage. He said that when his wife wanted to cuddle, it would make him mad, and that he even had trouble holding hands, according to Fracken. He also described being in love with a woman who had children and a drug problem, but she didn't love him back and lied about being pregnant with his child. He said he was so hurt by her, Fracken writes. They were on and off, and he had a bad heart attack. Even Sowell's own mother let him down, according to the reports. Several times during the interview, he described how mean his mother was to him and how he was angry with her for years, Fracken writes. Anthony Sowell, who terrorized the city of Cleveland with a series of murders and hid the decomposing bodies of 11 black women at his home, died on February 8, 2021, of an undisclosed terminal illness. A spokeswoman for Ohio's corrections agency said he was only 61. Mr. Sowell, who had been on death row since 2011, was admitted last month to an end-of-life care unit at the Franklin Medical Center in Columbus, Ohio, at a facility run by Department of Rehabilitation and Correction. The spokeswoman, Jo Ellen Smith, said in an email on Monday night she did not elaborate on Mr. Sowell's medical diagnosis, other than to say that it was not C19. At the time of his arrest in 2009, relatives of his victims had expressed anger that Mr. Sowell had previously spent 15 years in a state prison for luring a 21-year-old woman into his home, then choking and raping her, had gone undetected. He was released from prison in 2005 in that case. They also had complained that their attempts to get the police to open missing person cases had been unsuccessful. When Mr. Sowell was arrested, he pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, but that could not keep him from being sent to death row. Over the years, lawyers for Mr. Sowell, the most notorious serial killer in Cleveland's history, mounted several unsuccessful attempts to overturn his death sentence. In 2016, the Ohio Supreme Court upheld his conviction. The following year, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear the case, and in 2020, the state denied his appeal. Now, what did you think of this case? Do you think his upbringing played a part in his crimes? Do you think there should be more focus on mental health in the black community? And why was Anthony Sowell let out of prison the first time after serving 15 years for luring a woman to his home, then choking and raping her, and then later released? I don't know, man. Let me know down in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe.